was 17 when I had my accident. I was climbing some ropes in a gym as part of my training with the police cadets, and I happened to fall 20 feet completely unconcerned because I got nice thick crash mats underneath, and I just happened to miss them, and my back hit the ground and I broke my back, and I knew what I'd done as soon as I hit the floor. It was like a sharp knife being slashed across my hips, and it was all pins and needles from the hips down. And I just knew immediately that I had broken my back. And from that point on, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to follow the career that I had chosen to do. I wanted to be a police officer. I was aiming to be in the mounted branch. My passion had been riding, and that was what I was working towards. So I knew I was going to have to change that whole idea of what I was going to do with my life. And that was probably one of the most difficult things. And I did end up working for the police as a civilian, but in an office, which was the one thing I always said I never wanted to do. Managing your personal care and not being able to be so spontaneous about going out, having to plan things a bit more. Even just going out in the car down to the shops to get a pint of milk. It takes 5–10 minutes to get the wheelchair loaded in the car, and then get the other end, and you've got to take the chair out, put it all together and transfer yourself, get in, get the milk, which takes 2 seconds flat, and then you've got the whole process to go back through again. And in the end you think, what's the point? It's just a pint of milk, I'll make do with black coffee. My family were great. They were there every day throughout the 6 months I was in hospital. Not all the time. Dad went back to work and Mum came to visit me in visiting hours. My brother was there when he could be, but obviously he was at school. But they were really supportive, and even when they were having down days, they hid that from me. And it wasn't until probably 25 years after my injury that I found out that my dad had actually spent most afternoons in his office in floods of tears for the first 3 months. He hid all that from me. The main frustration with living with it day to day is the managing your personal care, and it's probably the most hidden part of spinal cord injury. A lot of people understand about paralysis, that your legs may not work. Some may understand that paralysis of the spinal cord injury might affect your arms. Not everyone does. Hand function, that's not always understood. Breathing, very few people understand that it affects the way your diaphragm works, so you may not be able to cough properly, or that your bowels and your bladder are going to be affected. It doesn't matter where you break your neck, back. As long as the spinal cord is damaged, you're going to have some bladder and bowel issues, and they're the hardest things to manage because of all the social implications. And I think that affects more people with spinal cord injury than the loss of mobility. If I was to try and educate the public about spinal cord injury, that's a tricky one. I think it would probably be the acceptance that we're not idiots. We are highly intelligent people. We know ourselves. We were fully functioning just as you are now, and for a split second of either an illness or an accident, their whole life has been changed physically. Mentally, they're still the same person. They are still able to do all the things that they did before. They'll like the same things, they'll enjoy the same things. They want to be part of society. Don't shut us out. It's often the barriers in society, the physical barriers of ramps and steps and inaccessibility that disable us more than actually the condition we're living with. I'm busy, I have a very full and active life. I work full time. I have some great friends that I love to socialise with. My children are not children anymore, they're now 20 and 22, but they're great. and we go off on holiday and travel around the country, and life is normal. This is me doing my normal everyday stuff. I'm just Jackie getting on with my life.